Canada has long been known for its welcoming immigration policies and diverse population, but recent trends have started to shift the dynamics of its largest cities in ways many never expected. Once known for their distinctly Canadian cultures, cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal are now grappling with the challenges and growing pains of rapid population changes. Some of the effects are obvious: soaring housing prices, overcrowded schools, and strained public services. But others are more subtle, impacting the daily lives and identities of the residents. In this video, we'll delve into how 10 major Canadian cities are being transformed by immigration. We'll uncover the hidden truths behind the numbers, examining how these changes are reshaping the very fabric of these communities. If you want to truly understand the impacts of immigration on Canada's urban centers, stick with us until the end. And if you appreciate the effort we've put into bringing you these insights, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support allows us to keep producing content like this. Let's begin in Surrey, British Columbia. Surrey is one of the fastest growing cities in Canada, with its population exploding in recent years. Originally known for its suburban feel, ample parks, and peaceful, family-friendly atmosphere, Surrey's transformation is evident in nearly every corner. Over 40% of Surrey's population is now foreign-born, and with that influx has come a series of challenges that residents are struggling to manage. For those who have lived in Surrey for years, the changes are more than just statistical. It's about the way their neighborhoods feel. What used to be quiet residential areas now seem to be crowded, with schools reaching capacity and public services overwhelmed. Crime rates, too, have risen sharply, leaving many longtime residents anxious about their safety. There's an increasing sense among locals that their city's unique identity is being lost as Surrey rapidly adapts to a new cultural reality. It's not simply about the logistics of immigration. It's the emotional toll on the people who call Surrey home. At the heart of the issue is how quickly Surrey's infrastructure is being tested. Public schools, hospitals, and roads were designed for a much smaller population. Now, as new immigrants arrive, the city's aging infrastructure simply cannot keep up. Residents are feeling disconnected from the Surrey they once knew. And while diversity is often celebrated, there's growing concern about whether the city can manage its growth without losing its character. Next, let's turn to Hamilton, Ontario. Hamilton was once known for its steel industry, the backbone of the city's economy and its working-class roots. But as the manufacturing sector has declined, Hamilton has found itself in the midst of a profound identity crisis. About 25% of Hamilton's population is now foreign-born, and while the city has become increasingly diverse, this rapid demographic shift is creating tensions that many didn't anticipate. The change is most evident in the city's job market. Hamilton's steelworkers, who for generations built their lives around the city's industrial economy, are now facing fierce competition from newcomers, many of whom bring different skill sets and work experience. The once proud image of Hamilton as an industrial powerhouse is being replaced by an unfamiliar urban landscape, with new immigrants filling positions in industries that didn't exist a few decades ago. And yet, what's most striking is how these changes are affecting the social fabric of the city. The once close-knit neighborhoods now have a more fragmented feel. The sense of pride that came from living in a working town has diminished for some longtime residents, replaced by a sense of alienation as new communities establish themselves. The local identity that defined Hamilton for so long feels increasingly tenuous, as the city evolves into something that locals can barely recognize. Now, let's take a look at Halifax, Nova Scotia. Halifax has always been a city that prided itself on its rich maritime heritage and tight-knit community. Yet, with about 20% of its population now foreign, the city is starting to feel the strain of rapid change. Halifax is one of Canada's smaller urban centers, and while that has long been part of its charm, it now means that the city is ill-prepared for the sheer volume of immigrants who are making it their new home. The biggest issue in Halifax is housing. Property prices have skyrocketed in recent years, pushing affordable housing out of reach for many longtime residents. What was once a peaceful, affordable place to live is now experiencing overcrowding, rising rents, and longer wait times for essential public services. The city's small-town feel is rapidly being replaced by the complexities of urban life. But beyond these financial strains lies an even deeper challenge: cultural identity. Halifax has long been defined by its connection to the sea, its historic architecture, and its distinct Nova Scotian culture. But with increasing numbers of new immigrants, some residents feel that the city's traditional character is being diluted. The question that many Haligonians are asking themselves is whether their beloved city can hold on to its unique identity while embracing the growing diversity around it. Moving on to Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnipeg has long been known for its strong sense of community and its diverse mix of cultures. With more than 25% of its population now foreign-born, the city is experiencing a noticeable shift in its social dynamics. What sets Winnipeg apart from other cities on this list is how immigration has affected the sense of safety and community that residents have long treasured. In neighborhoods that were once peaceful and secure, crime rates are rising, and many residents are starting to feel unsafe in areas they once considered home. Local businesses and community centers are reporting increases in vandalism and theft, which is having a direct impact on the quality of life in these neighborhoods. What's particularly troubling for many residents is the sense of frustration they feel. The city's charm, which was built on strong local traditions, is slipping away in the face of rapid change. In addition to concerns about safety, Winnipeg is also grappling with the strain on public services. Schools, healthcare facilities, and public infrastructure are all feeling the effects of a growing population, and the strain is only expected to increase. As Winnipeg continues to grow, many longtime residents wonder whether their city can maintain its sense of unity, or whether it's destined to become another urban center defined by divisions and discontent. Let's now move to Ottawa, Ontario. Ottawa, the capital city of Canada, is often seen as a model of stability and calm, home to the nation's most significant political institutions. But as Ottawa becomes more diverse, with nearly 25% of its population now foreign-born, the city is beginning to experience some of the same issues that other Canadian cities are grappling with. Ottawa's peaceful atmosphere is increasingly being tested by growing tensions between old and new communities. The most noticeable impact has been on the housing market. As more immigrants settle in Ottawa, demand for housing has surged, driving up prices and making it difficult for long-time residents to afford homes in their own neighborhoods. Ottawa was once a city that offered affordable living for middle-class families, but that's no longer the case. Rent prices are climbing, and residents are beginning to feel the pinch. But beyond housing, the social fabric of the city is also changing. Public services, once among the best in Canada, are now under strain. Healthcare facilities are overcrowded. Schools are reaching capacity, and the city's once manageable traffic has become a daily frustration for many. The question is whether the city can continue to offer the quality of life it once did, or whether the pressure of growing diversity will cause Ottawa to lose some of its original charm. Let's continue to Edmonton, Alberta. Edmonton is often described as a place of opportunity, with a thriving economy largely built on the energy sector. However, with over 25% of its population now foreign, Edmonton is facing a new set of challenges that threaten to undermine its established identity. The city is undergoing a transformation, with new communities reshaping the social and economic landscape. What many people don't realize is that Edmonton's immigration boom has created significant challenges in the job market. The competition for jobs, particularly in lower-wage sectors, has intensified, leaving many longtime residents feeling pushed out of the city's economy. The once predictable job market now feels unstable, and many are struggling to find work in the industries they once dominated. Edmonton's social services are also feeling the strain. Healthcare, education, and public services are being stretched thin, and residents are starting to feel the impact in their everyday lives. Longer wait times for medical care, overcrowded schools, and rising crime are making it increasingly difficult for Edmonton to feel safe and secure in their city. The next city we'll examine is Calgary, Alberta. Calgary, once a symbol of Western ruggedness and prosperity, is now facing a transformation that many locals are finding difficult to accept. Nearly 30% of Calgary's population is now foreign-born, and while many newcomers have brought fresh energy and ideas to the city, the rapid pace of change is starting to strain the city's social and economic infrastructure. The oil industry, which once defined Calgary's economy, is no longer as dominant as it once was, and many locals are struggling to find stable employment In the wake of the industry's decline, the competition from new immigrants is fierce, especially in sectors that didn't exist in the past, and many longtime Calgarians are feeling left behind. Next, let's look at Montreal, Quebec. Montreal is renowned for its rich French heritage, unique art scene, and vibrant cultural life. However, with more than 30% of its population now, Montreal is facing one of the most complex cultural transformations in the country. The city has long prided itself on its French language and culture, but now, that identity is being tested by an influx of immigrants from a variety of backgrounds. The city's schools, hospitals, and public services are struggling to keep up with the demands of a growing and increasingly diverse population. But it's not just about services, it's about culture. For many Montrealers, the fear is that the city's French identity, the core of its appeal, is being diluted by the many different languages and cultures that are now part of the fabric of the city. Finally, let's turn to Toronto, Ontario. Toronto, Canada's largest and most diverse city, has embraced immigration like no other Canadian city, with over 50% of its population now foreign-born. Toronto's transformation has been both remarkable and, for some, deeply concerning. While the city is proud of its multicultural reputation, the effects of such rapid growth are starting to show. Housing prices in Toronto have skyrocketed, driven by both international investors and the surge of newcomers to the city. For longtime residents, this has meant being priced out of the neighborhoods they've lived in for years. Public services, including schools, healthcare, and transportation, are being stretched to their limits, and many residents are feeling the strain of overcrowded classrooms, longer wait times, and deteriorating quality of life. For many, the question is no longer about whether the city can survive this growth, it's about whether Toronto can maintain its identity and quality of life, while continuing to evolve into a truly global metropolis. These 10 cities are not just numbers on a page. They are places that millions of Canadians call home, and the challenges they face as a result of immigration are real, complex, and deeply personal. Whether these cities can balance growth with preservation of their unique identities remains to be seen. If you found this video insightful, check out our previous content, and don't forget to subscribe to Living in Canada for more deep dives into the issues that are shaping our world today. 11. Calgary, Alberta. Calgary, a city traditionally known for its Western heritage, oil-driven economy, and strong community spirit, is now undergoing a dramatic transformation due to the increasing number of immigrants settling there, with nearly 30% of its population now foreign-born. The city is grappling with changes that threaten its long-standing identity. Calgary's history is rooted in its connection to the oil industry and the culture of hard work and self-reliance that defined its residents. However, as immigration surges, that sense of community and stability is being tested. A significant shift is happening within the labor market. The energy sector, once the driving force behind Calgary's prosperity, has been in decline, and new industries are emerging. However, many locals, especially those who have spent their careers in oil-related fields, are finding themselves competing with newcomers who are willing to work for lower wages in industries like tech, construction, and hospitality. This has led to increasing tensions in the job market, where some longtime residents feel displaced by newcomers who are filling jobs at a faster rate. On top of this, Calgary's once affordable housing market is starting to feel the pressures of the city's growing population. New developments are being built, but they're often high-end properties out of reach for many locals. Many residents are also worried that Calgary's unique Western charm, which was once the pride of the city, is being replaced by a more globalized and cosmopolitan atmosphere. The influx of immigrants has also brought with it changes in the cultural landscape. Long-standing neighborhoods that were once dominated by residents with shared traditions and values are becoming more diverse. While many residents welcome the multiculturalism, others feel that Calgary's identity is being lost as the city becomes more urbanized and international. In addition to these social and economic pressures, Calgary's public services are also showing signs of strain. Schools are growing more crowded, healthcare services are becoming overloaded, and the infrastructure is struggling to keep up with the city's rapid expansion. Calgary, a city that once prided itself on its laid-back, outdoor-focused lifestyle, is now in the throes of trying to adapt to a future that may look very different from its past. As Calgary continues to navigate these challenges, the question remains, can this vibrant city preserve its roots while embracing the changes brought by immigration, or will it lose the essence of what made it great?